The world before September the 11th, 2001 was a very different one to the one we know now, and this was especially the case for me. I was 28, married, had a 6-week-old daughter called Olivia, a successful career in legal recruitment, and the post-pregnancy weight was coming off. The week of September the 11th saw the bombing of the Twin Towers, my daughter being diagnosed with clicky hips and having to wear a harness, and me being diagnosed with osteosarcoma in my left leg. I was told I'd have to have an operation, chemotherapy, lose my hair, and all this had to be done pretty quickly because the tumour was already 9 centimetres long. I'd found the lump, well, you couldn't miss it to be honest, when I was about 6 months pregnant, and my lovely doctor at the time had just said, let's just get through this pregnancy and have a look at it after that. So for the next 4 or 5 months, I was in ignorant bliss, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. It was my midwife who bullied me into seeing the doctor post-pregnancy, and thank God she did. Within 48 hours, I'd met Mr. Grimer and was gently explained what would be happening. Normally, I'm a confident person, gobby, quite a lot of people would say, but I still can't look at Mr. Grimer without going coy. I can't even say it. Talking nonsense and stuttering words. He's by far the most amazing, brilliant man I've come across. And if you have Mr. Grimer as your doctor, the world is a better place for the months you go through this pretty grim experience. At the time, there wasn't such a thing as the teenage cancer wards, but as I got the cancer at the ripe old age of 28, I probably would have been too old to use them, especially with a crying but very cute baby in tow. So I had my operation in Birmingham, with the average age on the ward was 80, and each night I fell asleep to the sounds of Goodnight Agnes, Goodnight Vera, and Goodnight Edward, etc. My main treatment was at St James's in Leeds, and they, again, were amazing. I always had my own room so Olivia could be with me, and they held my hand when they put needles in me, and they cuddled me when I cried, and I couldn't have asked for any more. Throughout the treatment, the days when I had good days, I marvelled, lapping up and appreciating every part of it. At one point, getting incredibly drunk at an opening of a wine bar. Believe me, hangovers are 100 times worse mid-treatment, so I wouldn't recommend it. I felt it was important for me to try and laugh whenever I could to save my sanity, and I used to have fun with my wig. As expensive as it was, it still looked like a wig, and I used to sit there and move it slightly when people stared at me. Or my personal favourite, which was a bit sick, was slowly taking it off my head when some teenage trick-or-treaters knocked at my door. I have never seen people run so quickly, but it was pretty funny at the time. So 6 months later, after a bald head, 6 lots of chemotherapy, half of my leg cut out, numerous infections, 68 mouth ulcers, lots of sickness, looking like George Dawes, and nearly dying, I was ready to face the world again. 10 years ago, the post-treatment from a physical perspective was great. It meant I still got to see Mr. Grimer every few months. Sound like a real sad stalker. Yeah. Every few months initially, and then yearly. But at the time, the psychological care wasn't that great. Nobody prepared me for my stage of what I called basket weaving. And even though evidently it is quite common, I used to obsess that my cancer would return, and I would constantly touch and prod my chest, looking for lumps, and would get myself into a major tiz if I found anything as little or irrelevant that it was. Eventually, through bloody-mindedness, I saw a cognitive therapist through the NHS, whose help was amazing. I just wonder how many other people at that time felt this way and didn't receive the help that I did. Thankfully, I know it's different today, and the post-treatment care is now much better, and it's continually improving. So, 10 years on, I'm still here, have married to my school sweetheart, basically my first marriage ended because of the cancer. Olivia is now a beautiful, caring, and sometimes cheeky 10-year-old, and against all the odds, I have another daughter, Felicity, who is 18 months old. I own my own legal recruitment business called Aventus Legal, if any of you are lawyers. And although I still have some aches and pains and the odd paranoid fix about the cancer returning, I am fit and well. I was honoured to be asked to join the committee of the Yorkshire region of the Teenage Cancer Trust and feel privileged to be part of such a wonderful and worthwhile organisation. My dad always said to me to think positive, And in this case, he was right. I am still here to tell the tale, and although at numerous times throughout treatment and after, it feels impossible to think positive, it really is the best remedy. Thank you.